The revelation begins. The quantum engines of the Galactic Consortium's flagship hummed with restrained power as it descended through Earth's atmosphere. Above New Tokyo, the crystalline vessel cast rainbow shadows across the metropolis's glass towers. Inside the ship's diplomatic chamber, representatives from 12 starfaring civilizations gathered for humanity's formal induction into galactic society. Admiral Sarah Chen stood at the reception hall's entrance, her crisp uniform bearing no medals despite her youthful appearance. The Kathrani delegation approached, their translucent bodies rippling with colors of greeting. Ambassador Vexlar extended a tendril in the traditional gesture of peace. Admiral Chen, your people's progress astounds us. Vexlar's voice resonated through its translator. From primitive rocketry to quantum drives in merely 2 centuries. Sarah smiled, her dark eyes holding depths that seemed incongruous with her apparent age. Humanity learns quickly from its mistakes. Ambassador, we've had considerable practice. In the technical exchange wing, Dr. Jacob Winters demonstrated Earth's latest medical breakthrough to a fascinated audience of alien scientists. The Zorath contingent, known for their militaristic culture, showed particular interest in human regenerative technology. Remarkable tissue repair rates, Commander Zorak noted, his scaled hands manipulating the holographic data. Your species recovers from trauma with unprecedented efficiency. Jacob nodded, careful with his words. We've developed certain adaptations over time. Evolution can be surprisingly generous. Across the hall, a Threll historian engaged in animated discussion with Earth's cultural attaché, Maria Rodriguez. The insectoid being's compound eyes glittered with excitement. Your historical records show remarkable detail, the Threll clicked, as if witnesses still lived among you. Maria's practiced diplomatic smile never wavered. We take great care to preserve our past. Some might say it lives within us. The first crack in humanity's carefully maintained facade appeared during the Quantum Physics Symposium. Professor Elena Volkov, discussing temporal mechanics with the Nexian scientific delegation, made an offhand comment about Einstein's personal doubts regarding determinism. When Albert confided in me during our late-night discussions, she began, then caught herself. I mean when I studied his private journals. The Nexian scientist's bioluminescent patterns flickered with confusion. Your phrasing suggests personal acquaintance, yet Einstein died over 2 centuries ago by your calendar. Elena laughed, perhaps too quickly, a figure of speech. We historians often feel intimately connected to our subjects. But the seed of suspicion had been planted. Throughout the summit, small inconsistencies accumulated like cosmic dust. Admiral Chen referenced naval tactics from the Napoleonic era with uncanny precision. Dr. Winters quoted verbatim from medical texts lost centuries ago. Maria Rodriguez demonstrated dance steps from civilizations that had vanished before recorded history. The Kathrani, masters of pattern recognition, began discreet investigations. Ambassador Vexlar ordered bioscans during ceremonial handshakes, searching for anomalies in human physiology. The results showed nothing unusual, standard human biology, unremarkable lifespans. Yet the behavioral patterns persisted. During a crisis simulation, Admiral Chen coordinated fleet movements using strategies that perfectly blended ancient Greek naval warfare with modern space combat doctrine. The fusion was so seamless, so intuitive, that even the most advanced tactical AIs couldn't have produced it through mere historical study. The revelation finally came during an unexpected emergency. A rogue asteroid, undetected by early warning systems, threatened the orbital conference center. As evacuation protocols initiated, a structural collapse trapped delegates in the main hall. Without hesitation, 5 humans moved with synchronized precision. Admiral Chen directed the rescue with an authority that transcended her rank. Dr. Winters applied medical techniques that combined ancient battlefield surgery with cutting-edge trauma care. Professor Volkov calculated structural stress points using methods that predated computer modeling. They saved every delegate, But their actions revealed something impossible. The humans had worked together with a coordination that suggested shared experiences spanning centuries. Their knowledge wasn't learned, it was remembered. As the last delegate was pulled to safety, Ambassador Vexlar confronted Admiral Chen directly. "What are you?" Sarah Chen looked at her fellow humans, reading silent agreement in their ancient eyes. The moment they had prepared for across millennia had arrived. "I was born in Shanghai in 1654, she said quietly. "This is my 7th life." The silence that followed was absolute. Dozens of alien species, each with their own concept of mortality, struggled to process the implications. "We call ourselves the Eternals," Chen continued. "1 in every 100,000 humans possesses this trait. When we die, our consciousness transfers to a new body, retaining all memories and knowledge." Dr. Winters stepped forward. "I first awakened to my memories in ancient Egypt. I've been a healer in every life since." Professor Volkov added, "I remember the Library of Alexandria. I helped smuggle text out before it burned." The galactic delegates recoiled in shock. Some species viewed the revelation with awe, others with terror. The Zorath commander's scales darkened to battle-ready crimson. "You deceived us," Zorak growled. "Presented yourselves as mortals while harboring this power." "We never claimed to be mortal," Chen replied calmly. "We simply didn't advertise our difference. For millennia, we've guided humanity from the shadows, preserving knowledge through dark ages, preventing repeats of our worst mistakes." "How many of you exist?" demanded the Nexian scientist. "Currently, about 80,000 worldwide. Our oldest remembers the last ice age. Our youngest awakened to her past lives just last year." The revelation sent shockwaves through the delegation. The Threll historian's antennae quivered with excitement at the prospect of interviewing beings who had witnessed history firsthand. The Zorath saw a threat to galactic power balance. The Kethrani recognized a species that had evolved beyond conventional limitations. As news spread across the quantum network, humanity's greatest secret was exposed to the universe. The Eternals, guardians of human knowledge and progress, stepped from the shadows into galactic scrutiny. In her private quarters that night, Sarah Chen opened an ancient locket containing a faded photograph of herself standing beside Sun Tzu. She had known this day would come, had planned for it across lifetimes. Now humanity faced its greatest test, not from alien invasion, but from the fear their very existence inspired in others. The first phase of revelation was complete. The aftermath would determine whether humanity's immortal guardians would be seen as a gift to the galaxy or a threat to be eliminated. The cosmic panic. The galactic news networks erupted with the revelation. Across 1,000 worlds, beings grappled with the implications of humanity's secret. On the crystalline cities of Kethrani Prime, citizens gathered in luminescent forums to debate whether humans were evolutionary marvels or existential threats. The Zorath Empire's response was immediate and militant. In their massive warships orbiting their home system, military commanders convened emergency sessions. Supreme Commander Kalthor's voice boomed through the chamber. "These humans have infiltrated galactic society while concealing their true nature. They claim only 80,000 Eternals exist, but how can we verify this? They could have agents throughout our governments, our militaries, our scientific institutions. On Earth, the Eternals Council emerged from millennia of secrecy. The 12 members, whose combined memories spanned 50,000 years, gathered in their hidden chamber beneath Mount Kilimanjaro. Dr. Emily Nakamura, the Council's chair and oldest living Eternal, addressed the assembly. The revelation has fractured galactic opinion," she reported, her youthful appearance belying her 15,000 years of accumulated wisdom. "Approximately 40% view us as threats, 30% as potential allies, and the remainder are undecided." Colonel David Santiago, a compact man with intense eyes, leaned forward. "The Zorath are mobilizing. Intelligence suggests they're planning a preemptive strike to capture Eternals for study." "Let them come," growled Marcus Webb, whose memories included commanding Roman legions. We've survived every attempt to destroy us throughout history. Emily raised a hand for silence. This time is different. We face not superstition or religious persecution, but a technologically advanced civilization that sees us as a threat to the galactic order. The attack came 3 days later. Zorath strike teams, using stolen temporal displacement technology, materialized simultaneously at 12 locations where Eternals were known to reside. The operations were surgical, designed to capture rather than kill. But the Zorath had gravely miscalculated. They assumed the Eternals' advantage lay solely in accumulated knowledge. They failed to account for the profound tactical evolution that comes from experiencing countless conflicts across millennia. In Berlin, Colonel Santiago coordinated the defense of a research facility housing 5 Eternals. As Zorath commandos breached the perimeter, he implemented a defensive strategy that seamlessly merged Spartan phalanx tactics with modern urban warfare. The attackers found themselves funneled into kill zones, their advanced weapons neutralized by ancient principles of battlefield geometry. Formation Delta Thermopylae. Santiago ordered through his comms. His security team, trained in his hybrid tactical system, moved with precision. They used the building's architecture like a mountain pass, forcing the numerically superior Zorath into confined spaces where their numbers meant nothing. In Tokyo, Dr. Winters turned a hospital into a fortress, using his memories of siege warfare from medieval Europe, combined with modern medical knowledge. He created defensive positions that doubled as treatment stations. Incapacitating gas compounds, synthesized from formulas he remembered from 12th century Persia, filled the corridors. The Zorath managed to capture 7 Eternals across their 12 targets, far fewer than planned, but enough for their purposes. Among them was Professor Elena Volkov, taken during the assault on the Geneva Science Center. As news of the attack spread, humanity's response was swift and unified. For the first time in history, the Eternals revealed their full organizational structure. Thousands of Immortals in key positions across government, military, and industry activated long-prepared contingency plans. The United Earth Defense Force, secretly guided by Eternal strategists for centuries, unveiled capabilities that shocked even their galactic allies. Ships thought to be simple cargo vessels revealed advanced weapon systems. Communication networks displayed encryption protocols that predated quantum computing, yet remained unbreakable. Admiral Chen addressed the Galactic Consortium via quantum transmission. The Zorath have committed an act of war against Earth. We demand the immediate return of our citizens and formal censure of the Zorath Empire. You speak of war, responded the consortium speaker, a being of pure energy from the Nexus Collective. Yet your very existence challenges the natural order. How can we judge the Zorath for fearing what they cannot understand? We have never sought to rule, Chen replied. For 15 millennia, we have been humanity's memory, not its masters. We guide, we preserve, we prevent the repetition of ancient mistakes. Is that not the purpose of all advanced civilizations? In the Zorath research facility, Professor Volkov endured their experiments with the patience of someone who had survived the Spanish Inquisition. The Zorath scientists probed her consciousness, searching for the mechanism of immortality. Fascinating, muttered lead researcher Tekmar, studying the neural patterns. The consciousness exists as a quantum template, independent of the physical brain. Upon death, it seeks out and bonds with a compatible embryonic neural structure. You cannot replicate it, Volkov said calmly from her containment field. We've tried for millennia. It's not technology. It's an evolutionary quirk. Random, unpredictable, uncontrollable. Everything can be replicated with sufficient understanding, Tekmar insisted. Volkov smiled sadly. In my third life, I worked with alchemists who believed they could create gold from lead. In my fifth, I watched scientists try to decode the soul. Now you seek to manufacture immortality. Some things simply are. Meanwhile, Earth's forces mobilized for a rescue operation. The Eternals revealed their greatest secret, a fleet of ships incorporating technology, accumulated across human history. Vessels that combined principles from Viking longships, Chinese treasure fleets, and modern aerospace engineering. Designs that no single lifetime could have conceived. Colonel Santiago led the strike force, his tactical planning merging the lessons of 100 battles across 50 centuries. Remember, he told his troops, the Zorath expect us to fight like mortals, bound by single lifetimes of experience. We'll show them what happens when you challenge those who've mastered war across millennia. The rescue operation would become known as the Eternal Gambit, a masterpiece of military strategy that would be studied across the galaxy for generations. But its success would force humanity to reveal even more of their capabilities, pushing the galaxy closer to a decision. Accept the Eternals as allies or unite to destroy them. As the Earth fleet approached Zorath space, the universe held its breath. The outcome would determine not just the fate of the captured Eternals, but humanity's place in the cosmic order. The universal truth. The Earth fleet materialized at the edge of Zorath space with precision that defied conventional understanding of quantum navigation. 19 vessels, each incorporating design principles spanning millennia of human innovation, formed a formation that resembled both a Celtic spiral and a quantum probability wave. Dr. Emily Nakamura stood on the bridge of the flagship Continuity, her ancient eyes scanning tactical displays. Beside her, Admiral Chen coordinated the fleet while Colonel Santiago prepared the insertion teams. Zorath Defense Grid is fully active, reported the tactical officer. They've deployed their entire home fleet, 47 capital ships. Emily nodded. They expect us to fight like any other species would. They cannot comprehend what 15,000 years of accumulated wisdom means in practical terms. The battle began not with weapons fire, but with what appeared to be a catastrophic failure of the Earth fleet's navigation systems. Ships scattered in seemingly random directions, some appearing to lose power entirely. The Zorath commanders, believing they faced technical malfunctions, moved to capitalize on the apparent weakness. Supreme Commander Cal Thor ordered his forces to surround and capture the disabled vessels. Take them intact. Their technology must be studied. But the chaos was precisely orchestrated. Each malfunction positioned Earth ships at critical points that created a three-dimensional version of an ancient Chinese strategy called the Empty Fort. The Zorath fleet, drawn into what seemed like easy victory, found themselves in a formation that maximized their vulnerability. Now, Santiago ordered. The Earth ships revealed their true capabilities. Weapon systems that merged particle physics with principles derived from medieval siege warfare created overlapping fields of destruction. The Zorath shields, designed to counter known energy weapons, couldn't adapt to attacks that operated on multiple physical principles simultaneously. Within 18 minutes, the Zorath home fleet was neutralized without a single ship destroyed, each vessel precisely disabled, life support intact. It was a demonstration not of superior firepower, but of wisdom that transcended conventional warfare. As the Zorath reeled from their defeat, Earth's insertion teams breached the research facility. Colonel Santiago led the primary team, his movements blending martial arts from 6 different centuries. They encountered heavy resistance, but the Zorath security forces found themselves facing tactics that predated their species' evolution, yet remained devastatingly effective. In the main laboratory, they found Professor Volkov and the other captured Eternals suspended in containment fields. Lead researcher Tekmar stood defiantly before banks of data storage containing their research. "You cannot stop progress," Tekmar declared. "We have decoded your immortality. Soon, all Zorath will share your gift." Volkov shook her head as Santiago freed her from the containment field. "You've learned nothing. Watch." She accessed the Zorath data systems, displaying their research. The Zorath had indeed mapped the quantum patterns of eternal consciousness, but their attempts to replicate the phenomenon had produced only unstable copies that collapsed within seconds. "Immortality isn't a technology to be copied," Volkov explained. It's a quantum resonance that emerges from specific evolutionary pressures. You cannot force it any more than you can force a star to burn backward. Dr. Nakamura's voice came through the comm system. All Eternals secured. But we have a larger problem. On the bridge of the continuity, Emily faced a gathering of galactic representatives via quantum transmission. The consortium had assembled to pass judgment on both the Zorath aggression and humanity's nature. "You have demonstrated power beyond our comprehension," spoke the Kethrani representative. "Yet you claim not to seek dominion. How can we trust beings who have manipulated their own species for millennia?" Emily stepped forward, her presence commanding despite her small stature. "For 15,000 years, I have watched civilizations rise and fall. I helped develop agriculture in the Fertile Crescent. I preserved medical knowledge through plague years. I've seen humanity at its worst and its best." She paused, letting her words resonate across species. "We Eternals arose not as conquerors, but as preservers. When knowledge was lost to war, we remembered. When wisdom died with generations, we carried it forward. We are not humanity's masters. We are its library, its conscience, its memory." "But who watches the watchers?" demanded the Threll ambassador. "We watch each other," Emily replied. "And now you watch us too. We reveal ourselves not from weakness, but from strength. Humanity is ready to join the galactic community, not as deceivers, but as partners who bring the wisdom of ages." The deliberations continued for hours. Some species argued for quarantine, others for alliance. The Zorath, humbled by their defeat, remained silent. Finally, the speaker of the consortium rendered the decision. "We recognize that humanity's Eternals represent an unprecedented evolutionary development. We also acknowledge that their influence has been one of preservation rather than domination, the energy being pulsed with decision. Therefore, we offer humanity full membership in the Galactic Consortium, with the understanding that the Eternals will serve as advisors to all member species. Your accumulated wisdom becomes a resource for the galaxy, not just for Earth." The implications rippled across space. Humanity would enter the galactic stage, not as newcomers, but as ancient observers finally stepping into the light. The Eternals would become teachers, sharing knowledge spanning millennia with species across the stars. In the weeks that followed, Eternal advisors took positions throughout galactic society. The Threll gained historians who had witnessed events firsthand. The Kethrani received scientists who had seen theories evolve across centuries. Even the Zorath, after formal apologies, welcomed military advisors who could teach strategies older than their civilization. Dr. Nakamura established the Galactic Institute of Continuity, where Eternals and alien scholars collaborated to preserve and share knowledge across species. The Institute's motto, carved in languages from 100 worlds, read, "Memory is the foundation of wisdom." 1 year after the revelation, Admiral Chen stood before the Consortium Assembly to deliver humanity's first annual report as full members. Behind her, a holographic display showed the positive changes already emerging from human integration. "We come not as immortals seeking to live forever," she concluded, "but as guardians ensuring that knowledge never dies. In sharing our gift with the galaxy, we find our true purpose, not as masters of humanity, but as servants of universal understanding." As she spoke, across Earth and beyond, new Eternals awakened to their memories. The cycle continued, but now with a cosmic purpose. Humanity had found its role in the galaxy not through force or technology, but through the simple act of remembering. The Eternal Revolution had transformed not just humanity's place in the universe, but the very concept of what civilization could achieve when memory transcended mortality. And in the vast expanse of space, where civilizations rose and fell like waves on a cosmic shore, the Eternals stood as lighthouses, ensuring that no knowledge would ever truly be lost again. The story of humanity's immortals had become the galaxy's greatest lesson, that true power lies not in the ability to live forever, but in the wisdom to use that time in service of all.